Hi, I'm Alan R. This is Motor Matters. If you haven't seen our channel before, I suggest you check this out and hit the subscribe button as soon as you can, because there's so much more content coming onto the channel these days. You will struggle to keep up with the local industry unless you subscribe to our channel. Today we're featuring Suzuki's Celerio. It's the baby hatchback in their range, and it was launched recently. We tested the manual version not that long ago, and I'm just mentioning the manual version because this is their automatic, or AMT as Suzuki have named it, automated manual transmission. It has its foibles, can we call it that? But you'll hear a lot more about it just now. Now, the new Celerio has grown up quite a bit from the previous generation, and you can see the nice big headlights over here. On GL spec, which is the upper spec as we're driving right now, you get the fog lights down at the bottom. It's neat, it looks good, it's unmistakably Suzuki. There is no doubt about that. GL also gives you nice 15-inch black mag wheels. So you get features like that on GL. You lose a number of these features, of course, if you want the cheaper GA version. You won't get the mag wheels. It's also gone to quite a fair size these days. And if you have a look over here, with the driver's seat set for myself, there's pretty good legroom in the back of the car for a little car like this. And remembering it is a little car. So just keep that in mind. Come round to the rear. And I have to tell you that when I first saw this new Celerio, I really thought it looked like a Swift more than the previous Celerio did. And nothing wrong with looking like the Swift, is there, seeing as it's so popular. Pop open the boot. You've got a very, very high loading lip over here. So keep that in mind if you're going to load heavy items. But boot size is not bad again for a little city car like this. You're looking at something like 230 litres of boot space. And of course you can drop the rear seats 2/3, 1/3. So you've got all sorts of features like that. And you do have a space saver spare wheel under the boot board. Not my favorite, but I'd rather have a spare wheel of some sort than run flats or anything of that type. So it is important to know that you do have that as well. Celerio is powered by a tiny little 1-litre 3-cylinder petrol engine. Puts out 49 kilowatts, 89 newton meters of torque. You may think that that's not a lot, but remember, Suzuki are the absolute experts in lightweight construction. So their power to weight ratios are better than a lot of others. We'll drive it a bit and we'll have a look inside. You can check it out for yourself. Well, the true test of every car is what it's like when you're driving it out on the road. So here you go. You'll hear, obviously, there's a bit of a whine to the engine. You can't help that. It's a little 3-cylinder, 1-litre. It certainly is going to have that little bit of a whine to it. And, well, you live with these things, don't you? Again, as I've said before, you've got to drive around this car. I've now got it in manual mode because I prefer manual mode. And you'll see now, you've got to rev it up slightly, and I went to 4,000 revs to shift. And you obviously will have noticed the drop in sound, but I don't know if you'll pick up on the camera the fact that there was no real jerk when the gears actually shifted, which is, of course, what I'm looking for. And what I'm hoping for, because any automatic, the whole point is you want it to shift smoothly and easily. So let's see, we're in the area where you may notice, I think you'll probably recognize now, we've done quite a few on-road videos around this area lately. It's pretty smooth, foot off the petrol, click it, 1 gear on the Tiptronic, and to me, this is the way I would drive this car pretty much all the time. Other than that, it's light, it's easy, it's comfortable. Yeah, even little cars today have power steering, so how much easier could you make life with driving the car? It's a bit bouncy, of course, because this road is not very smooth, but that's a good fact to show you as well. So the bouncing around and the camera of bouncing, apologies for it, but it's also road conditions, and you've got to just accept that these happen. Now, here's where you do hit a bit of a challenge, because we're now going up a hill. It's not a massive hill, but it is reasonably steep. And you'll see I'm in 3rd gear, and it's just kind of managing to hold the revs in 3rd gear. So it has done it okay, I would say. In fact, better than I was expecting. I thought I may have to shift down to second, which would have, of course, made the engine scream much louder. But overall, I don't think I'd like to do a long distance trip down to Durban or something like that in this car. But I don't think it's that bad for running around town. I would still choose the manual version over this AMT, but I think I could live with driving this around town.
Dear viewers, this is not Alan, this is Will. I'm driving the Celerio now.
Ah! Help! Help!
Unlike Alan, I'm going to leave it in full automatic mode, the way I like driving it. And as you can see, Al, it's not terrible if you just leave your foot in exactly the right position for the speed. It changes reasonably smoothly. If you floor it and you let off, and then it changes, you notice that slow yet methodical process of selecting a different gear. And here we're slowing down for some
an armed response vehicle that has to drive in the center of the road.
And who's driving completely unaware that we're behind him. It's allowed us to go past him now. Oh, here we go. So, for instance, now you can feel the gear change. On this particular section of road, on a slight downhill now, it's actually not too bad. Where I find the box really does battle is if you're going uphill.
Yeah.
And you want to change.
Shift from first to second or second to third, I found really, if you...
It gets confused. Now it's gone to
there.
third.
Yeah.
Now it's gone back into, it'll go back into second if I give it half a moment. But you get used to these things, and you sort of muddle along as you go. And
well, that's why I said you drive around it.
We carry on straight.
Yeah.
You drive around it. And away you go. It's if you put your foot down and you really want to get going and drive places that you do notice this gear shift change being quite.
No, but hang on.
I'm looking
yeah.
for.
This is not a car for rushing at the best of
it
times.
isn't.
It really isn't. So let's just take that off the table.
Yeah.
And not, this is where I'm sorry to say it's at its worst.
Absolutely. Now
Shift first to second or whatever on an uphill is even.
And you can see it's thinking about going into third, but it won't.
Yeah.
And if it does, it then bounces back up into second.
Correct. Yeah.
Almost immediately. So you've just got to use your foot to control the throttle there.
Yeah.
And keep it in shape.
But again, that's only limited circumstances, and I got around that by doing it manually.
Yeah.
So that's the other answer.
And dare we say it?
Yeah.
5.1 litres per 100. Well, that's a lot of forgiveness.
Well, there is that too, isn't there? Jumping in behind the wheel, you can see basic instrumentation, but it tells you what you need, and that's the most important. And it's the old push little thing over there, very old-fashioned, that of course you can scroll through various functions if you want. Look at that fuel consumption. Yes, it's for real. 5.1 litres per 100. And I've got to tell you, this is the first time we've had a test car, and I let Foot get his hands on it for a while, and he actually did better than me. Hang on, did I really say that? Did I actually say that? We've done 512 kilometers on this test, and I had it on between 5.2 and 5.3, and Leadfoot's got it down to 5.1. Ouch, this hurts.
You're welcome.
This hurts. Leadfoot. Down here on the right are a couple of buttons that Suzuki are very proud of, and I'll tell you why I say that. Because the Celerio range, the new one, includes an ESP function, auto stop start, and even rear park distance control beepers on the little Celerio. And Suzuki were pretty proud of the fact that the new model included especially the ESP and stop start at this price segment of the market, shall we call it. Now again, on GL version you get this nice 7-inch touchscreen, works very nicely, and what I find quite interesting is the way it's laid out. Look there, now you hit that and it gives you your fuel consumption and all your fuel figures, or go back and you hit, which one shall we try? That one is just obviously settings, and you can of course link your phone, and it even has Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. So it's got all the features you'd want, which is pretty good for a little car like this. You come down over here and standard air conditioning as well. Pretty nice. Below that, you've got a 12 volt and a single USB. Now you don't get USBs in the back on this car, but let's just leave it at that. And you can see you've got two cup holders here and a place over there, which is not big enough for your cell phone. So that is a bit of a pain. But anyway, it is just one of those things. And there you go, you can see. Try and put your phone there, it just doesn't quite fit. Put it that way, whatever it is, it's going to rattle around while you're driving now. Just one of those things. Another feature is just come back up a little bit. In the center here, you've got, of course, locking and unlocking, which does not happen automatically on pull-off. And the front windows are here. The rear windows, strangely, are there. But anyway, functional, I suppose, if you know where they are. You may have to look for them for a while, but I think it does work. But now we're going to come to the elephant in the room. William, quietly please. The AMT automatic gearbox. You can see here, it's also very interesting the different gates you have on this gearbox. We're in neutral right now. Interesting there isn't a park, but same difference I suppose. But over there you'll see, you click it across to the right and up for reverse. And look over there, you see on the screen, it gives you a rear park distance control. It's not a camera, but it shows that. Then you bring it down, and now I'm in, if you go there, you're in drive, automatic. Or you push it across there, and you're in manual, and it's a Tiptronic. Forward for down, and that way for up shifts. Quite simple, quite straightforward once you work it out and you know what's going on. Now comes the point, doesn't it? William, take that look off your face, as I said.
The less said, the better.
It is not a full automatic. It's an AMT, as I've said. Now, the thing about the AMT, to put it very mildly and very simply, is there are ways. You've got to actually get used to driving this car. And you've got to, literally, my experience, you drive around the gearbox if you want a reasonable driving experience. I found personally, leaving it in auto function, the shifts were very, very jerky, to put it mildly. Put it into manual mode, treat it as a Tiptronic, and the trick is to lift your foot off the petrol as you shift, as you do in a manual. And I got the shifts a lot smoother that way, and I could live with it. But I've been thinking a lot about this. William, come in with me here now. Let's just point out now, and I don't always do this, but the price of this car, 210,000 Rand, 209,900. Okay?
How much is the manual?
194. It's exactly 15,000 more than the manual. Okay? Otherwise, they're identical. It's just that. But 15,000 premium is about par these days, at the lower end of the market. It's nothing unusual there. But remember something, and this struck me during the night. Many people these days have got their licenses on an automatic. And you're endorsed, you can only drive an automatic. Now you're on a budget. There's not many automatics on the market that are cheaper than this, or that qualify as automatic, are there? Not many.
That's a good point.
Okay, that will give you this fuel economy, that will give you Suzuki's reliability, that will give you 2 airbags, ABS brakes, ESP, etc., etc. You're thinking differently now, aren't you?
No.
I got you thinking.
It serves you right for not qualifying on a manual.
Well, no. There are so many. There are also a lot of people who commute in traffic every day who just don't want a clutch, for example.
There I agree.
So what I'm saying is, it's horses for courses. It's a car for the times, whether you like it or not. You know what? At the end of the day, it's your choice whether you're going to buy it or not. Okay?
That is always the escape clause that every consumer has.
Right. There's 100 other cars you could choose from.
Well, I like Suzuki, I have to say. I mean, I really I am in love with their motors. I think the engines are superb for what they do. They are unbelievably fuel efficient. The
Exactly.
power to weight ratios are excellent.
Yeah.
Suzuki have got that side of things so right.
Mm.
Why can't they just get the gearbox a little bit better?
Well, look, at the launch of the new Celerio, they said they'd improved the AMT. And I must be honest, I hadn't driven an AMT for quite a while. I have experienced them.
Okay.
And certainly, I know you said you didn't necessarily do it, but I found using it in manual mode, I actually got it relatively smooth after a bit.
I drove it in automatic because the manual and I didn't work. But in automatic, it and I kind of agreed to disagree, but at least I knew where it disagreed. But it was far more intuitive for me in automatic than actually in manual. But
you know what?
there
But
you go.
this is also something where it's differing driving styles.
Sure.
It's whatever suits you better.
Sure.
You live with it, right? That's why I say you drive around it.
It may be why I got better fuel consumption than you.
Maybe. Could well be. Could well be. But overall, I mean, this is such a nice little car. If I had the choice, and fortunately I have a driver's license that I can drive manual or auto, so that comes out of the game. If I was putting my hard-earned money down, I would certainly go for the manual and not the AMT. Sorry, but that's without a doubt.
Absolutely.
But I see a gap in the market for this one, and that's what I'm saying.
It'll be interesting again once post analysis to see what the sales figures do on it.
It would be an interesting question.
And what other people think about
Yeah.
it. I mean, you and I obviously have opinions on it.
Right.
Some are stronger than others, but it's not up to us. It's up to the buying public who have 210,000 rand to spend on a brand new car. I can't really see you doing a hell of a lot better than this.
Well, that's the point. And we're not going to go into that age-old argument of should you rather buy a 2 or 3 year old bigger car.
No. We're talking new
We're
car,
talking new cars.
new
That's
budget,
it. That's it.
Compare with an even basis.
Right.
Compare with an even basis.
You are really competitive in this, whether you like it or not.
The one thing I did pick up on the
Yeah.
AMT box is that when you're doing no brake driving, as you're driving
Yeah.
economically, as clearly I've demonstrated I can do.
I'm still in shock. I am still in shock.
The AMT box is very interesting in terms of the fact that it does act as a manual when you lift off.
Yeah.
So it'll keep it in its highest gear to minimize the fuel going into the engine, and when you engine braking, you then have to shift it across to the manual to drop it down a bit,
Okay.
which is kind of very simple and easy to do. And actually, that's the preference for me driving the car, is shifting down rather than shifting up,
Well,
and then it works.
Overall, you know what? As I said a few moments ago, this little car's got its place.
Absolutely.
And that is the point. And you know what? Kudos to Suzuki for finding a niche. Because that's what sells these days, is the niches.
I think you're right.
Well, that's the Celerio AMT from Suzuki. Don't forget, you do get a 2-year, 30,000 kilometer service plan. You get a 5-year, 200,000 kilometer warranty, all in the package. If you're looking for an absolute entry level in today's money with an automatic gearbox, don't be put off, and don't discount this one. You do it at your own peril.
Go and drive it yourself.
For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor. See you next time.